The Daniel Pearl Education Center at Temple B'nai Shalom recently invited a Holocaust survivor to share his story with local teens as part of the temple's mission to educate the next generation while paying tribute to those who came before.
I think we spent maybe a week in the trains. I think they left us maybe once or twice to relieve ourselves or do other things. And then we arrived at a concentration camp, Auschwitz. We didn't know exactly at that time what that meant.
Every year we bring a group of 13 and 14-year-old kids from our school here and from St. Bart's Roman Catholic Church and other neighboring churches and synagogues in the Middlesex County area to the Holocaust Memorial Museum. And they spend a few hours in the museum and they meet a survivor, and the experience is quite moving for them. And tonight we had a survivor come and speak with them, and was one of the most interesting feedback sessions with him. So that's what we really think is very important for the kids in the area. Here at Temple B'nai Shalom, we dedicated our religious education school to Daniel Pearl many years ago, because we thought that his message was so important, of understanding different people's feelings, and more than just tolerating people, although the word tolerance is used. So we like very much to spread the word. And tonight we had a Holocaust survivor come and speak with us.
Well, I think it is important to remember and to make sure as far as one can that it does not happen again. I mean, and that one at least hopes to inspire young people to take their responsibilities and try to make this a better world for all of us. One hopes that when, well, first of all, already, even at this age, they can do something, I mean, locally, but that they will be inspired and be better people and try to help others when they grow up.
Well, tonight I learned many different things. I knew the Holocaust was it was a hard time, but I didn't realize how hard it actually was. And being able to hear someone who actually went through it was very emotional, and I was able to learn a lot. Well, I'm lucky for what I have now, and it was horrible for the people who experienced what they did then.
Well, I also, like Daniel said, I learned how awful the Holocaust was, and how it affected the people and how it still affects them today. Well, I did learn how when you were in 1938 and 1939, they really didn't know how bad the concentration camps were and how bad everything was. They really had no connection to understanding how far it could go.
I thought it was a very significant thing to hear. It was all of this, the museum and the speaker and everything was just a real learning experience. It tells us that we need to be the ones who pass this on, and we need to be the ones who, of course, stop this from happening in the future and spread the word about what happened, and how we're just lucky to have a warm home, like somebody was saying, and to have the freedom like this, and to have religious freedom. So I thought it was just very significant. And I was at the museum, so I thought the same thing there, and it was very significant as well. So
I think it's so important to have different people from all different religions to go to bond over this part of history, because it shows that we are coming together now and we are really learning about this time in history and really bonding over this together to see what actually happened, and to have people from different churches come to learn about it, different temples, all different Reform, Conservative, Orthodox, all these different temples come to learn about it together, which shows the uniting of all of us, just like Holocaust survivors would want us to learn about it.
Well, tonight I learned that even though he went through an emotional journey that took him to all different paths and suffering, he was still able to get through it and create an immense impact on the rest of the world. His overall message was to have a change for the future and that us, like our generation, could be the new beginning that changes everything, instead of having like isolation and blaming other people or other religions for what has happened, and that we can just be the change.
It happened to the Jews, it happened to other religion, and I think we are all the same, basically. We need the help of everyone, and I think there have been very many people who sacrifice their lives for Jews and vice versa, and I think that's sort of the good part of the world, and which one should encourage very much. Have tolerance, respect, and empathy for others. Try to stand up for justice and for humanity. That's the main thing.
10, 20 years from now, the people who lived from the Holocaust who survived will not be around anymore. Now we need to learn about what happened. That way we could explain about it. And I mean, the museum is also a good way to learn about it, but hearing from a live survivor who's living and who actually experienced this is something I could take honor of from hearing it. It was very significant.
I enjoyed it. I thought I learned so much about his story. I enjoyed his story. I thought he was it was an uplifting story to see how he got out of this, and he was successful in becoming a better person and sharing the story with us that he got out of the concentration camp and he survived, and I'm so grateful that he's here to talk to all of us today.
We got taken by train again to another camp, Bergen-Belsen, and there, by that time, Germany was really collapsing, and there wasn't even any food at all over there, and people just died, essentially, in heaps. And then the British troops came in, so liberation came over there, and of course we were very happy. Unfortunately, of course, the British troops were horrified by what they saw, and everybody being so emaciated. I mean, I believe that I must have weighed less than 60 pounds at that time. I mean, it was really sort of one's bones were sticking out, and it was literally painful to sit down on a chair. And so, with the very best intentions, the troops found some cans of fat, which the Germans had stored somewhere, and they gave it to the just liberated prisoners, which of course we couldn't absorb in the stomachs, and some of them died. So anyway, it's a horror story, and so eventually it turned out not only my father, but my mother and little sister, my grandmother, most of the family except one aunt and one uncle did not survive that.
Almost as a perfect follow-up for our visit to the Holocaust Memorial, on March 18th here at the synagogue, we're going to have a gentleman who was born after the war to German parents, and he found out while he was, I think, a teenager, that his father was actually a Nazi colonel. And his story after finding this out, and how he found out, and what he did after he found out, was incredibly moving and important. And he's going to be here to share his story with us on March the 18th at 7:30 in the evening. And we would love for anybody that's interested to come out and hear his story and meet him.